Hello shooters, welcome to this episode of TI Goes to School. I've been reluctant to make this episode. I've got a lot of emails and messages throughout the year saying, TI, you've got to do one about the AR versus the AK. Here's why I've been reluctant to do it. The most important thing that you can possess is skills, mindset, and tactics. Notice that there's not an AR or an AK in there. The most important thing you can possess as a gunfighter: skills, mindset, and tactics. In other words, what I mean by that is somebody that is got a strong triad of skills, mindset, and tactics. It doesn't matter what he has in his hands, he's going to be effective. In other words, a guy that has skills, mindset, and tactics and armed with an SKS will kick the crap out of a guy that doesn't have skills, mindset, and tactics and has the latest AR with all the gizmos on it. So the shooter is me. I have the exact same skills, mindset, and tactics, and I'm just going to apply them with these two types of guns, the AK and the AR. Both of these carbines are in OEM condition. In other words, as they would be issued to a soldier somewhere in the world. If they're issued an M4, it's going to look like this. Somewhere if they're in the world, if they're issued an AKM, it's going to look like this. No other modifications have been done to these rifles. Okay, folks, we're just going to go over the general characteristics. We're going to start with the butt stock. Butt stock on the M4 is checkered, and the butt plate is checkered and it's plastic. Helps keep it in the shoulder better, and it's angled better too to fit on the shoulder. The AK is steel. It's slicker. It doesn't stay in the shoulder as well. The butt stock on the M4 is adjustable for length of pull. You know, somewhat. There's 4 or 6 adjustments, whatever. The AKM is what it is. The AKM butt stock is stronger than the butt stock on the M4. You can break these off. These, you got to really work at it to break it off. Pistol grips on both of them, they're both too small. That's the way it is. There's no clear advantage on either one of those. Trigger pulls on these. Trigger pull is just different. It's more of a 2-stage on this, more of a rolling stage on this. They are what they are, no clear advantage there. Charging handles with the AK. It works great if you're left-handed, because then you, with your right hand, the charging handle's right here. If you use it right-handed, you either got to come over the bottom or over the top. Another thing I don't like about the AK charging handle is it does reciprocate every time you shoot. So this knob is going back every time that you shoot. That can become more problematic when you're running the left hand, particularly if you do the mag hold there. If you put your thumb up there like that, you'll get your thumb whacked. You'll only do that a couple times. But I like charging handles that do not reciprocate. Let's go to the M4. The M4 is not perfect either. Works okay for if you're right-handed. However, if you're left-handed, you got to do you can't work it like that. You got to do the reach around over here. But it is non-reciprocating, so there's no real clear advantage there. Both systems work okay. Neither one of them is optimal. Sight radius is identical between the two rifles. Sight radius is identical. The sight picture with the AK is more like a handgun. The rear sight is just like a flat piece with a notch there. The front sight is a post. Whereas on the M4, you have an aperture sight. You got a hole here that you put the front sight in. I noticed that up close and personal, when it's really close range, I like the AK better because the sight picture is more open. It's able to get around faster. This one's probably better for longer range, but not quite as good at close range for me as the AK. The way the magazines go in on the AR, the way they go in is really nice. It's like putting it in a handgun. The bad part is if you don't push it in there really hard, it may not click. So it goes in, but sometimes it doesn't stay in. With the AK, it's kind of the opposite. It's kind of hard to get it in, particularly for newer shooters. They have a problem getting the front nose of that thing in. But once you get that in and click it back, it is in. Okay, magazine release with the M4. The magazine release is perfect for a right-hander. With the magazine release, when you're running left-handed, you actually use your thumb, which is also works, but it's not the same operation. It's not mirror image. With the AK, the magazine release is rear image. It's that lever down there right behind the magazine, whether you're running it right-handed or left-handed, doesn't matter. So the advantage there is on the AK for the magazine release. Both rifles are really good about being protected from the elements. When you have the AK and the safety's up, it's pretty much sealed. When you have the AR and you have the dust cover closed there, it's pretty much sealed, so it sixes there, keeping stuff out of the elements. Muzzle device on the AK, you got the slant. They call it a slant break, but it's actually a slant comp. It does accentuate flash. That's a bad thing. On the M4, you have the bird cage. On this one, I got a Phantom because it's a 14.5-inch barrel. This is pinned and welded to make it 16 inches. It comes, standard issue is a bird cage. It's much more effective, so a huge advantage to the M4 on the muzzle device compared to the AK. Front handguard on the AK. On the AKM model, it's got kind of palm swells there. It helps in controllability. Neither one of these are good for shooting extended hand. With the M4, we got an oval type shape. Both of them work. Both of them are not perfect. No clear advantage there. They are what they are. They're both short. They're almost identical in length. The handguards are, so you know, virtually identical. Cleaning with the AK, you got your cleaning kit in the butt stock there. You got an actual cleaning rod that can be used to bust out a stuck case. With the M4, there is nothing on board to clean your gun. You have to have your cleaning kit somewhere else in the rest of your kit. Advantage AK. Selector on the AK. When you're running it right-handed, you can use your finger, or if you can come up here, you can use your thumb. When you're running it left-handed, you pretty much use your offhand to work the safety up and down. The AR is somewhat the same but different. When you're running it right-handed, it's right here underneath your thumb. When you run it left-handed, you gotta bring your thumb over and use it, or you use your finger to operate it. So neither one of them are optimal for using for both shoulders. However, the advantage does go to the AR because it's just in a more ergonomic location and it's easier to operate than some AK safeties. You got to put a ton of pressure to get it down. Okay, let's talk about the protection of the front sight. The front sight on the AK is protected by these wings, very well protected. The front sight on the AK is protected, AR M4 is protected by similar wings, very well. The rear sight on the M4 is very well protected. Has these wings on both sides that protect the rear sight there. Rear sight on the AK has no protection at all. And this rear sight sticks up. It's easy to get this thing knocked around. You're going through doors or getting out of APCs or vehicles or whatever. So major advantage to the M4 on protection of the rear sight. Okay folks, bolt hold open. The M4 has a bolt hold open. Huge advantage over the AK. The AK does not have a bolt hold open. M4, when you shoot and you can feel the bolt lock back, you're already on your way to magazine. When you put the magazine in, you just hit this thing with your thumb or your hand or whatever, the bolt's gone, you're good to go. With the AK, you don't know you're empty until you have a click. The M4 guy's already on his way to his magazine when you got the click. Then you got to take the mag out, you change out the mag, then you got to charge the handle. So huge advantage to the M4 because it has a bolt hold open. It helps for the beginning of the reload and it helps at the end of the reload. Okay, weight of the AKM with a empty Block steel 30-round magazine is 7 pounds 11 ounces. Weight of the OEM M4 with empty USGI magazine is 7 pounds 1 ounce. Advantage M4. Weight of USGA magazine with 28 rounds, because you can't reload 30 with a closed bolt. Weight of USGA magazine with 28 rounds is 15 ounces. Weight of a Block 30-round steel mag with 30 rounds is 1 pound 14 ounces. Advantage M4. The two most common AR mags besides USGI is the Magpul and the Lancer. Magpul with 30 rounds, 1 pound 1 ounce. Lancer with 30 rounds, 1 pound 3 ounces. Bulgarian Circle 10, 30 rounds, 1 pound 10 ounces. Soviet Bakelite, 30 rounds, 1 pound 9 ounces. Magpul M3 steel inserts, 30 rounds, 1 pound 9 ounces. Headshots with the AK and the M4, 5 shots each, and recorded the times. All right, headshots, 25 meters with the AKM and with the M4. Times are across the top. Total is there in column I. A little bit slower with the AKM versus the M4. A lot of it had to do is because the buttstock is more slippery with the AKM. The M4 buttstock stays in the shoulder better. Body shots, 25 yards from the left shoulder, AK, M4. Body shots, 25 yards, left shoulder, AKM at the top there, M4. You can see the totals over here. A little bit slower with the AKM. Again, it has to do with the slippery buttstock more than anything, but the M4 wins on this one. Speed loads with body shots, 25 yards with the AKM and the M4. Speed loads with the AKM and the M4. This is where the bolt hole open device really shines. The M4 almost is half the time as the AKM. Type 1 or smack rack bang with the AK and the M4, 25 meters body shots. Type 1 malfunctions with the AKM and the M4. This is the tap rack bang. The AKM is a little bit slower than the M4 because you have to go around the other side to use the charging handle. I think if I did these left-handed, the scores would be exactly opposite because the AKM would be a little bit faster than the M4 from the left shoulder. So probably a wash here. Type 3 or double feed in the prone. The reason I do this drill is because it really shows how easy or how hard it is to work with the rifle. Type 3 malfunction in the prone are the hardest drill there is to do. I don't like doing them, but the reason I do it is because it does show how easy a rifle is to work with or how hard a rifle is to work with. My least favorite drill to do is the Type 3 malfunction. That's where you have a double feed in the prone, no matter what rifle we're talking about. It is a pain in the rear. AKM stock on the top, M4 in the blue. You can see the M4 just barely edges out the AK, but not by much. The AK is just a teeny bit slower to get back in the action because you have to rotate the rifle to work the charging handle. We'll see that in the left hand it's going to be the opposite. Type 3 malfunction in the prone, again with the AK and the M4. This drill designed it really shows how well the ergonomics are or how poor the ergonomics are on a particular rifle, because if there's any deficiencies in the handling, it'll show up here in this drill. Type 3 or double feed malfunction from the left shoulder in the prone. Sucks just as bad as the right side, but here you can see the AK just blows away the M4. My opinion is the AK is set up better for a left-hand user than a right-hand user, and this is one of the points right here. 10 rounds at 5 yards. The purpose of the drill is to see how much the gun jumps around the recoil. All guns jump around the recoil, but some guns are easier to get a faster score with than others, and that's the purpose of this drill, to see which one scores faster than the other. 10 rounds at 5 yards into a paper plate as fast as you can do it. AKM is on the top, M4 is in the blue there. M4 is a little bit faster, a little bit easier to control, a little bit less recoil. The buttstock sticks in the shoulder better, but the AKM still does it very respectably here. 1 to 5 and back. This drill illustrates how easy it is or how hard it is for a rifle to swing between targets and still get accurate shots. One to 5 and back. There's 5 targets. They're 1 yard apart. They're 5 yards from the shooter. This shows how fast a rifle can transition between targets and still get accurate shots. You can see the AKM does much better than the M4. This is due to the fact that the sights on the AK are easier to use for way up and close because they're more like a handgun sights and not quite like a traditional rifle sights. So the AK definitely wins this one. Here's a total of all the scores. For the M4, it's 183 seconds and some change. For the AK, it's 202 seconds. Around 18 seconds difference, which is not a huge amount, but it definitely shows that the ergos are slightly better on the M4 than they are the AK. Okay, these both have good points about them, but they both have bad points about them. This is lighter than this one. This is probably more durable. It's not going to break. I've seen buttstocks break on these. They're both 100% reliable for combat. They're both acceptably accurate. Both of them will shoot easily out to 300 yards and hit a man. Where this one is the clear winner is in weight. This, with a loaded mag in the gun plus 4 extras, weighs 12 pounds. This, with a loaded mag in the gun plus 4 extra, weighs 17 pounds. 5 pounds more. That makes itself known real fast when you carry this thing for any length of time. So it's time to bottom line this thing. Which one would I choose? The bottom line is, I don't care which one I have to choose. I'll do well with this one, I'll do well with this one, because I'm pretty well versed in skills, mindset, and tactics. Yeah, this one's lighter, But if somebody said you're getting a gunfight tomorrow, you got to take an AK, I wouldn't go, oh crap, why can't I take an M4? I'd grab the AK and rock and roll. Same thing. If somebody said, hey, you got to get in a gunfight tomorrow, you take an M4, I wouldn't say, oh crap, give me an AK. I'd just rock and roll with the M4. These will both do the job as long as you can do the job. Remember, the most important thing you can possess is skills, mindset, and tactics. Then this matters. Before that, these don't matter. So pick your poison. Train with one, train with both. And you will be a force to be reckoned with if that day ever comes where you got to pull the trigger for real on one of these things. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate all the shares, likes, and subscribes. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And I want to see your comments posted down below. What do you think of this video? What do you think of my opinions? What do you think of the way I rated these things? And as always, ensure that your training and your practice is preparing you for the real world. Your real world, and not for the fantasy land of the shooting range. Have a nice day.